that's not good. All right, hey, party people, party people. It's a beautiful day for music. It's a wonderful day for sound. The clock just fell on the floor, so I'm not sure how it's gonna be how it's gonna be rolling. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Hopefully your quarantining is going okay. Everybody's not super crazy and whatnot, and hopefully you're being productive. Hopefully you're making things. You're working on some projects that you've been sort of putting off and whatever else. I know I am. I'm in the process of making a whole new album under my artist name, and stayed up until 6 last night / this morning, and I got up at whatever 9 or 10 and laid some drum tracks to the stuff. So it's been a late night, early morning for me, and hopefully my voice will make it through. Let me know how you guys are doing in the chat. I see we're from Tennessee. I marched a group out of Tennessee called Music City Mystique. It's a WGI group and things. So we were just slightly outside of Nashville when I was there, but super cool people. I love my time in Tennessee and things. I've recorded at a few studios there also, and I went and did a clinic over at Blackbird Studios there in Nashville. So it's really cool. A mixing clinic, like studio mixing and that kind of stuff. So yeah, really cool. It's nice to see you guys checking in. We're from some people from southern Texas. I've always been a nice fan of Texas, and of course, being that I have the job that I do as far as like being a percussion caption head and things like that, Texas was definitely, I guess, on my list of just places to kind of check out. But I live in Cobb County, Georgia. Here's just slightly north of Atlanta. MCM is amazing. I think so also. I'm a fan. You know, I marched there, but I'm a fan. What's up, Tyrone? Nobody you know. What's up? What's up? Can we do some left hand molar? We can talk about it a little bit, yeah, and things. I might do a little bit of some jams here. I'm not sure if I can pronounce this. Saketu? I'm pretty sure that was absolutely wrong. But yeah, hey, welcome. We'll start off with some clappy clappies, and I'll answer some of your questions, and we'll get into some jams, right? All we do when we do our clapping to actually warm up our little hand muscles and arm muscles is I keep my palms together, and then I do this business here. So we'll go about that speed. Yeah, 1 and 2 and ba 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 be boom against ba do do dee do boom pa dee da 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 dee dum 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 da do da ba get da boom da 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 dee dum da 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 dum bum dum 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 da de da 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 bum ka 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 da 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 dee dum ka na da ba da da dee da 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 boom da do dee da da dee boom pa ka dee da ba da dee dum boom pa ka dee ba ba boom 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 be ba one more time and a boom pa ga ga ba ba boom be pa ba ba boom 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 dum dum boom ba da I want you back. Let's shake them out. We'll start off with doing a little bit of some huggadah, so just some 1, 2, 3s just on each hand. We'll probably go ahead and just do 2 measures on each hand. Starting off nice and slow, just kind of stretching the hands out and things. When I do this, I don't really want to overextend what I'm used to, especially for some of you new left-hand players. What we're really going for here is nice fluidity of motion and making sure that last note rebounds up and I don't have any sort of gripping or tightening of my actual fulcrum or my hand system, whatever you guys call it, wherever you're from and things. So 2 measures on each hand, huggadahs nice and slow. And 1 and 2 and right hand ba 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 boom okay the big ba the 2 the big the ba left hand and ba the get the d the ba the boom the d the da right hand and the ba the d the do the boom the ba the hand, boom, do ba, da da, yup, ah ah ah, boom, do ba, da dee, the right hand, boom, do ba, do be, ba, boom, ba, the bum, the left hand, boom, do ba, do be, ba, ba. We're gonna fill it in when we go back over to the right hand. Ba, be, ba, left, 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 right hand, left, right, right, like ah, ba, right hand, left hand, boom, ba, do be, ba, that don't, ba, be, right hand, boom, ba, be, ba, boom, ba, be, the left hand, oh, it's the da, feel good, ba, the right hand, oh, the ba, the be, the ba, the boom, ba, the bam, left hand, boom, the ba, the be, ba, the ba, the little bit faster, boom, be, the be, the ba, the be, ba, the left hand, boom, the dee, the da, dee, da, the da, bum, bum, the dee, the da, dee, da, the dee, the da, the left hand, dee, the da, dee, da, the dee, da, right hand, bum, dee, the dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, right hand, dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, be, bum, that, the big left hand, bum, that, dee, da, bam, bum, that, right hand, bum, beat, da, beat, dee, bum, beat, the left hand, da, dee, da, right hand, go, dee, down, beat, dee, down, left hand, dee, down, the bop, that do, dee, down, left hand, right hand, yeah, dee, da, left hand, do, dee, da, dum, da, right hand, do, ba, da, do, dee, da, do, da, ba, dee, bam, dee, da, bum, right hand, do, dee, ba, left hand, beep, dum, just straight up doubles, nice and open, relax those shoulders, relax that face, stop, nice even sound, and even, crescendo. Nice and even beat. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Even sound. One bar of singles, one bar of doubles. Here it is, single. Doubles. Single. Double. Single. Double. Crescendo single. Double. Single. Double. Crescendo single. Double. Single. Double. Single. Double. Crescendo single. single, double, crescendo single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double, single, 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 double, let's go. Single, double, single, double, single, double, little bit faster and single, last time, ready, and stop. Cool, cool, cool. Go ahead and shake them out. I'll go ahead and answer some of the questions and some of the comments that I'm sort of seeing here. Woo, 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 woo. I might have to kind of back it up a little bit here on my paper and things. Says I'm a big fan. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's lit. Thanks, Tyrone. What's up, what's up? Audition for Music City Drum Corps this summer. Awesome. Hey, who were your techs? Who was the caption head? I think I know some of those folks who were there at Music City Drum Corps and things. The GOAT. What's up, what's up? I'm from Arizona. Want to help tackle down some advanced licks. Any tips? Really, the biggest tips I have for advanced type licks is to make sure that all of the skill sets that are present within that lick, you can do individually. Like if I was making a world-class salad, then I really want to make sure that my arugula, my romaine, my iceberg, all individually, right? Those three types of lettuce are of the utmost quality, and I comb through every single bin to make sure that each one of those pieces from each one of those types of lettuce is absolutely immaculate in both aesthetics and the quality of taste and the presentation of form factor and all of those things. I also want to make sure if I have something like tomatoes that my blend of how it mixes within its color palette and within its taste as far as acidity mixes well with the three other forms of lettuce and so on and so forth with all the other ingredients. So that's the way I look at approaching a lick. If the lick has flams or inverts or maybe singles, or if it requires a very specific type of rebounded technique or a specific type of touch, I like to separate those things and say, can I make this one skill set immaculate, and can I take it slow and have it to be recording quality, right? Nobody can see it, everybody can just listen to it with the utmost scrutiny, and that's the way I approach things like that. Hopefully that helps. And things, the GOAT, whoop whoop. Can I do Bridgman warm-up? Which one? Bridgman had a whole lot of, I don't think, at least I know of any one of them that is just called Bridgman warm-up and things. So let me know which one, and I don't know, I might know it. I do a terrible job of memorizing music, even my own music. Like right now, if I had to play any of my like exercises or learn this lick series from my actual channel, if you haven't seen those, definitely check them out. Point is, I can't do them because I just do so many things and I write so much music, and I have to learn so much music, especially for gigs and stuff that I play. So I don't really remember I really almost anything, right? And stuff. Cool, cool, cool. Recently was speaking to Brandon Olander. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That dude's good, man. He is good. He said that on his left hand to hold it as naturally as possible. He said that it's better to build on you rather than other people's left hands. Yeah, my idea when it comes to any sort of technique is you want to make sure you sound good as a musician first. If you sound good, it'll be very hard for any musical situation or any drum corps or any college to turn you away. No matter how weird your hands look or how non-standard it is. If you're a good musician and you sound good and you have beautiful rhythms and you have beautiful even sound and you have a great attitude, your hands can be crazy and people will take you. I've seen it happen a whole lot of times, right? So a lot of people worry about how their hands look, but if the hands aren't moving a certain way to produce a certain sound, the way that they look really isn't taken into account, if that makes any sense, right? For whatever reason, because we can see our connection to the sticks and things, we're very much so concerned about that. But if you play like the trumpet, you can't really see inside of that mouthpiece. You get to hear their sound quality. You get to hear the brilliance and the resonance of the trumpet, but we're not concerned about the position of their lips unless something's going wrong, and then we kind of take a little bit of a look at their embouchure, right? So that's the kind of way I like to think about it and things. So yeah, do whatever. There's so many different versions of how this thing goes, and I'm sure you've heard a whole lot of information, especially if you're talking to people like Brandon. So he knows what he's talking about, and so do hundreds and hundreds of other people. So find out what sort of works for you. Make it relaxed, make it feel natural. There will be some times that you have to play things that are just hard. So no matter what you do, it's not going to feel natural. Like playing inverts is not natural. You can try to make it as relaxed as possible, but you have to push out a certain amount of energy and your hands have to move with a certain amount of quickness, right? And things. So hopefully that helped. Nobody, hello, yeah. And stuff. Oh, he's back. What's up? From lunch, I suspect. I hope your lunch was delicious. Let us know what you had to eat. Welcome back, man. Hey, Renzo. What's up? That was fun. Cool. Hope everybody's doing well. Switzerland, awesome. I don't actually think I've ever been to Switzerland. I don't know. I'll have to see. Felt nice in the hands. Cool. Really like that warm up. Groups, fun, I mean. Nathan and Jesus were the two battery caption heads. Jesus that I talked to. I wonder. Okay. Do I know the warm up Susie from Blue Coats? Blue Coats were the most recent people to play Susie. But I learned Susie in 2003 from a guy who played it at Santa Clara Vanguard in '99. So that's as far as I can track it back. But I'm sure somebody played it well before '99. Susie is kind of the basic gist of it. And of course, you add different cheeses and flam fives and other things. It's an invert exercise and stuff. So yeah, Blue Coats were the most recent people to play it and things, but it's a fairly old exercise and stuff. Susie's hard AF with the inverts. It is, and one of the biggest things about inverts that that you have to get really used to is that up kind of rebounded motion, that kind of the low tap going into that sort of accent whip thing, and you just have to get used to that. Do ba bo ba bo ba bo ba bo bum bo bum bo bum bo ba bo ba bo ba bo ba bo ben dee dum bottom bo ba bo ba bo ba, and try to make that happen with as much of a sort of loosey fat arm, jigglies. And then once you get used to that, do two of the little notes going into the big note. And that really helps you out when you get to, I'll play the left hand, just regular inverts. That really hurts my leg. All that business. Cool. What are my tips on inverted cheese? The biggest thing about with the inverted cheese is that you're going to have to determine where the cheese is going to come from. That really just depends on your technique. So some people will still feel it in the extreme front when they play their double, right? It'll be really far to the front of your actual grip. For me, a lot of times I actually kind of feel it in the back. You'll notice a lot of times I will play with a deferred fulcrum. Even when I play concert snare drum, a lot of times I'll play with what some people refer to as a 3-point grip. So you will see a gap in my hand. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. So yeah, so for me, I feel it in the back, right, when I actually turn my wrist, and that helps me to get that double when I'm pulling those back. Even though I can technically play it from the front, it just really depends. And I think in Susie the actual cheese business happens on the second one, right? They mixed that exercise with something that was slightly different also, and I don't know the other half of it, but what I just played was kind of the original Susie, if that makes sense. So maybe I'll learn the other portion at a certain time. He said, "Oh hell no! I dare you to do cheese flam taps." Cheese flam taps. I mean, I guess you can do that. Flam tap. Yeah, I mean, is that what it would be? I'm not sure if that would be considered to be a cheese flam tap. I don't know. Let me know. I mean, it sounds like something that was in that Blue Devils exercise, Diddy. If any of you guys played Diddy, it's a super old exercise. That business. Bigger don't be, bigger don't rock, bugger, bugger don't rock, bugger don't bet, bugger, bugger, the 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 bugger. You should go learn it just for the sake of it, right? How do you play a blushida? Blushida. I'm not sure what that is. Can you describe it anymore? Nobody. Let me know if you can give me just a little bit more information. And maybe I can help you out with it. Can you once do a breakdown of 0G? I've kind of stayed a little bit away from breaking down people's exercises, at least other people's exercises and things, mainly because a lot of the writers of those exercises also sell them, and they also want you to come to their camps and take lessons from them and things. So just as an ethical thing, I've been kind of staying away from teaching people other folks' music and whatnot, because they're trying to make a living too. And if you really want to know 0G, or if you really want a for real breakdown, I'm sure the person who wrote it, I'm not sure if that's a Roger Carter thing or a Jackson thing, or I don't know. I don't know who wrote it, but try to find the person and schedule a lesson with them, pay them the monies, and get it firsthand as far as the way that they think about it. It's always the best idea to do that. Bird Boat, welcome, welcome. Oh, can you play Susie again? Oh, yeah, I guess I can. He says, oh, hell no, Jesus, flam tap. Cool. Hello, nobody. Awesome. It's a triplet, but doubling the middle note, if that makes sense. Hey, boom. Is it all on the same hand? Let me know the sticking to that. Nobody. And thanks. I'll play some Susie again. B. If you knew Susie like I knew Susie, then you would love her too. PG. You knew Susie like I knew Susie, then you would love her too. If you knew Susie like I knew Susie, then you would love her too. You knew Susie like I knew Susie, then you would love her too. Yeah. Cool. He said it's hard. I don't know about it. Oh, I think I skipped something. Book report grid is not fun. As long as you take it slow. It's been a while since I've actually played the book report grid, but I did work it up maybe back in college. This would have been a long time ago. I'll probably fail horribly right now at it. and things. But yeah, it's not really that difficult. Yeah, I don't think there's any red flags in there. Yeah, I don't. Just take it slow and be patient with it and things. Um, or am I a musician? What instruments do I play? Maria, yeah. So obviously my main instrument is drums. My main instrument in college was the marimba. That's what I did all of my recitals and things on. I've always marched snare drum as far as DCI in college and WGI and things, but play a whole lot of drum set. Since I went to college for music and things, and I've always just been interested in composition, I play piano, I play guitar, I play bass, and various other things. I do a whole lot of production for a lot of stuff. I have a media company. It's called marcushawkinsmedia. I've written a lot of music for commercials and whatever else. So yeah, yeah. So I'm a musician, I guess. I play a lot of things. Hopefully that answered your question and things. Cool, cool, cool. Right, left, right. Flam on the first note. Oh, I mean, that's just a flam drag, right? Yes, what you're referring to? Let me know. Thoughts on Pyware as far as like writing bird boat, as far as writing drill. I don't really use a program to write drill. Most of the time when it comes to the WGI season, I'll do one or two groups as far as drill is concerned. And most of the time the groups are fairly small, and I'll do the stuff by hand and things. So I've never used it, but I know people who like it and things. Renzo as for the book report, slow it down to throw it down. I like that, I like that, I like that. And stuff. Awesome. Yep, yep, yep. Am I saying that name right? I can't, the letters are super small on here. Kuti? Kuti? Yeah. Do I know who Sean Clark is? Is that a radio personality? I don't. Maybe I don't know. Let me know. Let me know more about who that is. Yeah. Production DAW choice. I use Logic, but I've also used all of the other ones. If I could start over today, I would do Studio One. It can just do things that other programs can't do, right? At a certain point, Pro Tools was kind of the jam, and right, even now it's kind of the industry standard just because people have been using it for so long, especially if you work in a commercial studio. So, but I personally use Logic, and I love it. There's nothing that it can't do that I want to do and things. So, yeah, that's how I roll. Sorry, bear proper term. Some people call it the blush. I don't. Interesting. No, center snare BD for 3 years. What were those years? I mean, I don't. Yeah, unless I would have like met him or something like that, I'm not sure I would really know him. Especially being that I live over on the East Coast, right? So I live in Georgia, here in the United States, and things. Eric Moore does it a lot around the drums. I love Eric Moore. He's an amazing drum set player, and I watch a lot of his videos. Cool, cool, cool. Pro Tools is okay, really expensive. Yeah, when it comes to programs like that, if you're making money from using the program, then it's technically not really expensive. It is a professional program, and professionals use it to do great things, right? So if you are interested in production, or if you want to get into stuff, there's plenty of free things out there like Audacity that you can just, get a USB microphone, record stuff. I highly encourage everybody to make your own music, because what I tell people is that you have a unique story and nobody out there is like you, and somebody needs to hear your story. You might not be famous, but even if it's one or two people whose lives are changed because of your song, because of your sounds, because of whatever it is you do, then that's an amazing thing to me. And I believe that's the highest form of art. It's not only to play other people's art, but to make your own art that inspires other people, hopefully to make their art, right? And things. Cool, cool, cool. He was the youngest center snare for Blue Devils. back in 15 through 17. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good for him, man. Yeah, those dudes there, they can just play, man, and it's really cool to see them every single year put out a quality product that's that tailored to them and things. It's always awesome to see them and things. I think Tony Williams invented that thing. I'm not sure. I've studied some of Tony Williams stuff before, not recently, as far as drum set is concerned, but I'll have to look that up just to see if I can kind of nail down exactly what it is, because I think I'm probably just understanding it not right, I guess. FL Studio, yeah, hey man, whatever works, right? Whatever you can organize and make sounds in is the best thing for you. The worst thing to do is to wait to get professional grade material to try to be creative, right? At the end, if you have a great idea, that trumps whatever microphone that other people have or whatever interface or whatever thousands of dollars of gear. If you have a great song, if you have great ideas, then that will always kind of rise to the top and things. Tips on joining top 12 drum corps. I wouldn't worry about the top 12 drum corps part. What I would worry about is you finding a style that fits you and you finding a composition style that fits you and your musical identity, and attaching yourself to people who you know are going to be teaching you, right? I tell people I look at colleges the same way. So maybe in your home state, there is some sort of state school that has thousands and thousands of people and it's the biggest school in your area, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has the best percussion studio, like the best percussion program, just because the school is well known or because the football team has, a whole lot of wins in their conference or whatever. So what I tell people to do is to look for the individual teachers and techs and caption heads. And that's what you want to associate yourself with, more so than just a group that's going to make the top 12 and things. You'll always end up learning more from a methodology that you're kind of already on that same path than just going somewhere because you think they're going to be successful and not really agreeing or not really meshing well with the vibe that's happening there. I've seen a lot of people kind of fall into that, and it turns into a very long summer for them. Thinking about making the MuseScore equivalent of Pyware. Do it. Wow. So are you a coder then? Do you code and things? That's super awesome. What's my opinion on the Trinity Rock and Pop exam? I don't think I know what that is. Give me more information on that then. Just use MuseScore. Cool, cool, cool. I use Finale, by the way. I have used Sibelius before and things, but for all of the front ensemble and battery books and things, I use Finale. A lot of times I'll bounce my tracks out, which means I'll export them as audio and I'll export them as MIDI, and I'll put them into Logic and change the sounds, mix it, add sound effects, and then that's what I'll present to my band programs that I'll write for and stuff. It just sounds way more final, and they can hear how the sound effects and the voiceovers and all that kind of stuff fit within the context. Cool. My mom thinks MuseScore gives you viruses. What would you say if you witnessed it? Just curious. I don't know. I mean, I've never really used MuseScore. I have some students who have, but I don't know. How do you know which DCR core is right for you? Just look at their shows and try to get in contact with like whoever's going to be like their snare tech or tenor tech or whatever it is you're trying to march, and maybe try to find videos of them teaching, and that'll kind of be the best bet, right? You always want to attach yourself to a teacher, not like a sensei type of thing, more so than a group of people. It's always kind of the best way to go there. Yeah, so just see not just necessarily which shows you like, but um, I guess which groups have the playing style that mostly resembles your own right now, and then kind of take it from there and things. So musical license is under. I'm glad somebody knows. All the code is online for free. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. What's my favorite rudiment? Oh, I'm not sure if I actually have one, but I mean, I really like a paradiddle diddle. I can take a paradiddle diddle for breakfast. Maybe I do like flams though. So I think I talked about it in the last time. I really like playing what some people refer to as ninjas, and I really like playing touchadas or tajadas. I've heard people refer to them the same way. So all a touchada is just moving the flam to the second note. So you have a flam accent, and then if I move that flam to the second note but kept the accent on the downbeat, that's a touchada. So the flam is just in the middle, yeah, and things. All a ninja is I have two flams in the middle of four notes. So right, flam, flam, left. Left, left, left. Right, left, left, left. And the flams are two in the middle. And a lot of times you'll see, like, especially if I'm like just freestyling, I'll mix the touchadas and the ninjas sort of together when I'm doing that type of stuff. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, tell me what some of y'all's favorite rudiments are. I already see that we have a radimacule going on there. It's Trinity is a rock pop, is UK based, but popular here in India. Okay, cool. I'll definitely have to look them up, and I can just I guess Google or search for Trinity, the actual band name. Cool. I'm always excited to listen and to check out new groups and things. It just expands my view of what's happening out there and things. Radimacules, I've been a fan of Radimacules, and I'm kind of glad they're coming back as of like maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago and things. There was a long time where a lot of people didn't play those within contemporary marching percussion books, but I think they're making a resurgence and things. I like book reports. They're awesome. Flam drags. Man, you can't ever go wrong with a good flam drag. They feel so good. That pop of the flam and then a little. Anyways, hey Marcus, question from Martin. What is the process when I transfer rudimental snare drumming to drum kit playing? I mean to make make sense of playing in a band. For me. There's only really a few things that for real translate, and those things are going to just be singled patterns. It'll be like straight up doubles. I do play flams, but they're a whole lot wider, I guess, kind of the gad, kind of Weckl kind of flams. Paradiddles are easily I would say the main thing that transfers over to drum kit playing and things, and paradiddles in multiple different forms because they're easy to orchestrate around the kit. And if you're able to mix paradiddle patterns with doubles and singles, and then throw in a little bit of foot action in there every now and then you're going to be totally fine. But for the most part, with just regular playing, just like laying down a groove, which is like 90% of what we're doing, you don't use a whole lot of rudiments happening there and things. Somebody said Shirley Murphy's. Awesome. Some people also call those 1, 2, 3s. Has anybody else ever called them 1, 2, 3s? Like 1, 2, 3, that kind of business? It was very confusing when somebody first described them like that to me, because I've always called them Shirley Murphy's and things. Make it blend. Oh, I see. For me, I don't know. I guess I'm just always a music first, kind of sound first sort of player. So even though I can play all of these rudiments, if I'm playing on a gig, nobody's gonna look at me and say, I bet you played marching snare drum really well. I'm just playing whatever the song needs. That's crazy important for me, and that's what keeps me working. That's what keeps me at the gig. Is not my time to show that I can grid flam drags on a drum set. So that's the way I look at it, right? Now, of course, like if you're just trying to work out, um, if you're just trying to work out, new different patterns and things just for the sake of fluency, which is crazy important that you're able to lift 500 pounds, even though at your competition you really only want to do 200 as your max, right? Um, so even on a bad day, you can still show up and do what you want to do, yeah. So sure, I will work out a bunch of different sort of flam patterns going across the different elements of the kit and things, and I might throw some of that stuff in there just as a little pop, especially stuff like flams, just because it allows for me to hit multiple drums at a time and kind of sweep across different things. So that's kind of beneficial. Um, uh, Thanks for the answer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, I think I missed some stuff. Will you ever do a live on Instagram where could we possibly join you and play for you? That'll be awesome. Maybe on Instagram at a certain point. I'll just have to see. I need to make sure I can, um, I guess, schedule a time for that stuff. I don't know. I'll see. Um, hey, Marcus, what do you think of the Blue Coats 2016 snare opener? I think all of the stuff that the Blue Coats do is amazing. I've had former students to go march there, and I almost went to march there. This would have been in 2006 and things. One of our snare techs at Music City Mystique, his name is Tim Maynard, was the snare tech there at Blue Coats at the time. And they were really awesome, but I was just really burned out on drum corps. I had a not so good experience at Spirit in 2004, but that's a whole nother story. Best opener ever. Cool. Thanks for the answer. Awesome. Thank you. Just an opinion. Yeah. Flam fives. I love flam fives. Is it a coincidence that the cheese is a fat rudiment and cheese, IRL, is a fattening food? I don't know. I love cheese. I love it. Baby Bell, those little circles. I think I had one the other day. I don't know. It's really good. Awesome. Sorry, I was behind. Is there a specific band that influenced you to proceed in music? I grew up listening to a lot of contemporary gospel stuff. So people like Fred Hammond, I guess a little bit later, like Ty Tribbett, these types of people. And without me knowing who even some of these people were, I was playing a lot of like mixed meter stuff. I was used to hearing tonalities that dealt off of extensions and secondary dominance. You music theory people out there might know what I'm talking about. So it's me having heavy experiences within that type of music that really kept me engaged and seeing how music can move people and things. But other than that, when I was in high school, I was heavily involved in our jazz band and things, and that really kept me in it because I just really love drum set and things. But then I remember I saw the 2000 Cadets show. If you haven't seen it, it's really cool. I like it. Still one of my favorite shows and things. And I wanted to be that snare soloist. I wanted to be him and things. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that really got me involved. And I've always been sort of a lover of sound anyway. And I started to fall in love with the wind band sound. Really started to fall in love with the orchestral sound of things. And that really started to expand the things that I liked to hear, especially when I got to college and stuff. Awesome. I just wanted to say I hope you're doing good in these bad times. Much love from Arizona. I'm doing okay. Luckily, one of my main schools that I teach, I have a 12-month contract, so I'm still getting paid from one of the jobs. But yeah, I've definitely lost thousands of dollars and things, and it's a little sad. But my partner is a nurse. Her name is Nastasha, and she's working. So we're still trucking along here and things. But thank you for asking. A lot of musicians are really, really struggling, especially people who do what I do and whatnot. Speaking of that, if you guys want to give to me, I definitely leave my Cash App thing on all of my videos. If you want to hit up my Patreon, I would much appreciate it, right? To keep putting out some awesome content for you folks and things. I am going to college and I love drumming. Should I major in music or minor in music? What I tell people when they ask me that question, because I actually get that a lot, if you can deal with, well, first of all, if you're majoring in music, you have to look at two things. You have to look at teaching and playing for a living. Both of them are not easy, right? You're not going to become super rich from doing either. It's crazy important that you know that. Even if you sign up with a major artist, I know people right now who play drums for major artists, who mix for them, who do lighting for them, who are immediately in a terrible situation because of the whole shutdown and whatnot. Even for major artists, those people are struggling right now financially just from missing 1 month of shows. So it's very difficult to live that sort of life. So if you can deal with learning music and taking lessons and that type of stuff without necessarily going into it as a profession, it is very possible that you can go work your job wherever it is, your 9 to 5, or get off at 3:30, chill out with your family, and then at night you just stay up and make your own music. Is what I do, right? So my 2 girls go to sleep, and you know, we hang out for a little bit, and then Nastasha goes to sleep, and then I stay up until 3 in the morning, just making stuff for myself, right? Making my albums, not even really drumming videos, but just making music. So there's a lot of people out there who are dentists, who are doctors, they work at Geico, Walmart, wherever it is, and they come home and they enjoy making music. So you can totally do that, and you don't necessarily have to major in music to do that type of stuff. So hopefully that helped. Awesome. Second, what's my favorite DCI/WGI show? I would still say my favorite DCI show, it was probably, I don't know. I mean, as far as an older show is concerned, I would say it's still probably the Cadets 2000 show. I really like, I really liked Babylon when SEB, whatever year that was. I really liked the Beatles show from this past year. I mean, I know that's kind of cliche and everybody loves it, but I really liked it. It's just really good. My favorite WGI shows, man, it's so many at this point. I mean, I love the stuff Broken City does. I love, of course, the stuff that my home team does at Music City Mystique. One of my favorite shows that I've ever taught is a show called Villain from Atlanta Quest and things. Go check it out if you haven't. It was a really, really cool show, and they played it well and things. So I don't know. It's a lot. I like a lot of the shows from Pulse. I like a lot of the shows from Strike. I like a lot of the shows from Infinity. Really, really cool people out there doing a lot of really good things and stuff. If you want a career, obviously major. Not necessarily. I mean, when somebody says a career, if you want to teach band in a school, like a band director, then you can consider that. But if you're looking to play like in an orchestra, if you're looking to play like in a whatever, you don't necessarily need either one of those. Like when somebody hires me to play, nobody ever asks me like, let me see your degree or whatever. So I don't know. It just really depends specifically on what your end game is. If you want to be a band director, like teach at a school of sorts, middle school, elementary, high school, college, then yes, you have to go major in music. But everything else, nah, not so much. Yeah, but I also do not want to be poor. There's plenty of ways to diversify your income, and for me, that's honestly what I've done. So I make more than a lot of other people who teach percussion because I'm sort of diverse in the things that I can offer as far as me understanding electronics and voiceover and all the front ensemble stuff. I make a lot of money from writing percussion books and things of that nature from designing shows as a whole. Sometimes I'll just write all of the parts, including the wind parts and things. So just finding a way to diversify your income and stuff. So yeah, it's people find ways to make it work. First year college student, whoop, whoop, whoop. Eric, hopefully that's going well for you. Matt Young, what's up, what's up? Saying a quick what's up. Matt Young is my boy. Uh, Bless her. Blake, what's up, what's up? When did I start throwing the true moo, Hawk? I wasn't the one that threw the true moo. Blake was in one of the groups that I taught back in the day. He's super awesome. Cool dude. I told this story about one of the schools that I was teaching when I was an assistant band director. And we could never eat lunch in the lunchroom because there was always food fights. The school was very rough. There were a lot of police all the time, a lot of gang fights and things. And we had this very specific milk company called True Moo. And right before the very last fight, before we always had to eat in our rooms, we had to get sack lunches for like a whole year. Somebody was like, throw the True Moo, and they threw it, and it busted all over everybody's faces, and it was mass chaos. So that's a little bit of that story. Random, but floppies are the coolest rudiment ever. I really do like floppies and things. I'm a music ed major. Do I have any suggestions on teaching certain techniques? Teaching one thing may be easier for some students, but different for others. My biggest thing when it comes to teaching is try to, I guess, be able to describe the sound and be adamant about always encouraging and challenging the students to do that. Because the biggest deal is just consistency and how you engage those students to try to make the sounds that you want to make. I can't play like, I'm not awesome at playing like the bassoon, but I can use the correct terminology and I can sing and model different things that I do with my voice to try to describe the sound for them to actually try to make. So if you can become, I guess, more fluent in the way that you describe sound, you don't necessarily have to like take their trumpet and pick up and play it for them. You can always try to use your voice to describe the things that you want and always encourage them to always try to go for that sound. Because at a certain point, people will play correct rhythms and people will play correct fingerings, and they'll be playing the correct pitches, but it always goes back to your tone and things. Hope that helps. Awesome. Marcus, do you like Strike Percussion? Check out their 2019 show. What was the name of their 2019 show? I think I saw it. So, I mean, I see most shows every year. I'm always at WGI finals, so I pretty much see everybody at some point and things. Traditionally, I've always really liked their shows. This guy, the GOAT. There's a guy named the GOAT in here. Are you talking about him? The Endowed. Adam Main, back again. What's up? GS, who taught you the most about diversifying my income? I've always been interested in businesses and things. Anyway, I guess you could say I have an entrepreneurial spirit even since I was young. But it's just about, for me, finding ways to not put all of my eggs in the same basket, right? Especially being that I know that nobody really gets rich from doing like just teaching marching percussion. So, I found a way that I could go in and teach multiple classes per day at different high schools and things and different middle schools. And that fills out my day, that I get to teach actual classes in schools. And of course, I get to go teach marching band at the end of the day. And if you can get yourself out of what I call tech status, which means like, I'm the snare tech. Like if you can actually get the knowledge and the know-how to become an actual caption head or something like that, then you kind of move yourself into a little bit of a different category. But other than that, for me, it's just about building skills. In the same way that you want to have like singles and flams and be able to have touch, but also have power. There's a bunch of different categories for drumming. There's a bunch of different categories for me as far as, do I have media skills? Can I do sound? Can I do lighting? Can I do whatever else? It's just a whole bunch of different areas that I've kind of built up, graphic design, that type of stuff, that makes me valuable to other companies. And me knowing about marketing and SEO and that kind of stuff, B2B transactions, really helps me out. And I didn't go to school for any of that. I just learned all of that stuff through asking questions, meeting with people. The internet is amazing. So yeah, hopefully that helps. For some people that I do follow, there's a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. I really like his stuff. There's a guy who talks about financial income and that kind of stuff. His name is Clark Howard. You can check out his stuff. So hopefully that helps. Have I ever used UA audio interfaces? Yeah, I don't personally own their stuff because you kind of have to invest in their whole ecosystem. But their plugins are amazing. I really like their preamps. And yeah, I really like their stuff. You should get it if you have the chance. But it's not going to change the game. Once again, it's all about you creating stuff and your creativity and you making things. So if you don't have that type of money and if you're not making money with it, then it's totally fine to get like the Samson whatever UB whatever. I think it's like $60. A lot of stuff from Personas or from Focusrite, their Scarlet series, you can get those for super cheap, and the preamps sound crazy good now. It's really cool just to see that. There's a lot of questions. Thank you guys for being so awesome. Somebody said True Moo is fire. It actually was pretty good milk. Can't sing, can't play. Simple. Yeah, that's true. Pretty much sing everything. And I take a lot of my cues from two different categories. Number one, I grew up, of course, in the hip hop culture. I'm brown. Anyway, so I grew up in the hip hop culture, and of course, there's a whole lot of beatboxing and freestyling going on. So I'm very comfortable in that particular world. But then also, I believe the most advanced rhythmic culture out there is the Indian culture and playing tabla drums. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely go do that. They put us to shame, us Americans. They put us to shame, right? And for a lot of them, it's like a rite of passage to be able to sing the parts before you play the parts. Like it's almost absolutely necessary before you touch the drums. So definitely take cues from that particular culture because they have the most complex rhythms and the most complex time signatures and things. Awesome, awesome, awesome. No, you the man, you the man, you the man. Nick Cannon, wish he was you. Oh my God. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, somebody got their comment retracted. I didn't do that. So maybe there's some sort of moderator or something. Anyways, that's so helpful. I'm a media audio production guy as well. Hey man, cool, cool, cool. Any tips on 16 notes accented like threes to 9 notes accented like threes? Oh, okay. I'm assuming you're talking about like a 3/4 measure of 16th notes, like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and then going into 9lets. That kind of thing. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. So, I'll have to see. He's made Basil Fox. I'm not joking. Look at his Insta. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, so let's play a little bit of some other jams before we kind of get out of here. You guys are awesome and had a whole lot of questions and things. So we can talk. I did say I was going to talk a little bit about Molar. I believe it was in the second live stream that I talked a little bit about Molar, but I can talk some about it here. The best two things that you really need to check out is actual Molar himself, right, the person, and then one of his top students. His name is Jim Chapin. So if you can ever check out any of their material, if you ever can just watch their hands move, it's crazy important that you do that. It's stuff. One of the biggest things that I say, at least for now, is that most people who have exercises called like Molar or say that they're using the Molar technique, they're actually not, including me, right? I almost never really use the Molar technique. So just because you see kind of a, like that slight sort of whipping sort of motion, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the actual Molar technique, right? He had a very specific way that he held the stick in his hands. It was actually way more angled than what a lot of people do now. It's really, really flat, and even the left hand angle of how he held it was very specific to the way that the stroke needed to go and the motion of your actual hand. So I'm not going to go into all of that here, but some people use hints of, I guess, a part of what Moeller was going for, right? And things. So part of that is just making sure that you can release or relax your actual taps or your unaccented notes. So like, let's say if I'm playing something with my right hand and I have 3 notes, I can play it like this with sort of stagnant, very defined big note, little note type of idea. But then also I want to be able to keep that same accent, but then move my unaccented notes higher. So the ability to play that big note, but then have the option of playing these higher or even higher, nice and relaxed, is kind of the first thing that makes that sort of motion look the way that it does for our kind of watered down version of Moeller, if that makes any sense. Same thing on the left hand, just being able to play accents the way we normally do, but then also relax our hands to let the stick naturally come up a little bit higher than what it normally does, if that makes sense. And of course, just being able to play that with both hands. And being able to split it. That kind of thing. So I would say that's kind of the first steps, to be able to relax those inner beats and let them come up without trying to control them too much. And you'll naturally find that some of the stuff will be a little bit easier for you to kind of get to and things. How do I feel 5-lets? That's kind of a whole nother sort of topic of discussion. I will say I might try to get maybe a little bit into that tomorrow. We can do that and things, and 7-lets. Maybe I think I might have 1 or 2 videos up that go into some 5-lets and 7-lets and things, just as singles, because you definitely want to learn them in sort of a single stroke, or I don't know. It depends. I'll see if I can probably come up with something maybe for tomorrow. Excellent demonstration, thanks. Awesome. Hey, thank you. Being, of course, that I really like jazz drummers and I play drum set and things, I did for real study Moeller and stuff, even though, once again, I really only use hints of it. I'm not purely into the Moeller camp. And most people I see who are doing it now really aren't either. So it's kind of like the LaCroix. I think that's what I called it the other day. It's the LaCroix of Moeller that a lot of people are doing. It's not exactly it, but it hints at the flavor, right? For the 5-lets, focus on the 3rd partial, somebody says. Yeah, that really helps. And for me, when I do 5-lets, I'll accent the downbeat first, and then if I'm trying to do stuff like gridding it, I'll keep that downbeat accent even when I'm doing the other partial. So like the first 2, and then the 1st and 3rd, like a big at the back, bogan the main bag and bang back at the 1st and 4th, back at the back and the main bag and the bang bag and the 1st and 5th, right? And you can think about it whatever way, university, that kind of stuff. Hopefully that helped for you guys. It's been just about an hour and things, so thank you for your questions. Before you guys hop out of here, make sure you hit that like button and things. It definitely helps out the algorithm and whatever else, and make sure you have your questions for tomorrow. I'll try to make a note that I probably can talk about the 5-lets and stuff, and maybe even have like a for real produced video coming up that has some 5-lets and 7-lets that I might really slow it down, do some explanation, and then kind of build it back up and things. Anyways, thanks guys for hanging out with me today. I know we didn't do a lot of playing, but we have a lot of a lot of questions, which is really awesome, because hopefully I got a chance to help you guys out, which is my main purpose of doing all of this and stuff. And other than that, it's a beautiful day for music. It's a wonderful day for sound. I'll see you guys.